From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau, and this is your News 8 Daily for April 25th. We've had some amazing days of weather. Today, going to be a bit of a change. Do have that rain gear handy. Not as much in the morning, but later on this afternoon, especially, there will be on and off chances of scattered showers and maybe even a storm here or there. But the good news is nothing severe. New on Daybreak, firefighters say an early morning fire damaged 3 homes and sent 1 person to the hospital with minor injuries on the far west side. The Wayne Township Fire Department tells us crews were called just after 3 this morning to a home on Venona Way near West 21st and Raceway Road. Firefighters say 1 house caught fire, then the flames spread to 2 other homes nearby. Crews quickly got the fire under control with help from firefighters from Avon, Brownsburg, and Speedway. There is no word yet, though, on what caused that initial fire. Lawmakers worked well into Friday morning. The legislative session ends, though, with a bombshell. State lawmakers vote to give the governor full control over Indiana University's Board of Trustees without any public debate on the measure. News 8's government reporter Garrett Bergquist explains the provision added in the session's final hours.
The governor had already had the authority to name 6 of the 9 members of the IU Board of Trustees, but the IU Alumni Association elected the remaining 3. Governor Mike Braun will have the power to hire and fire all of the IU Board of Trustees. That language was added with no public hearings and without any of the usual legislative process. That set off furious debate overnight.
What did we witness here today? We witnessed the power of the supermajority to deny our constituents due process, to be able to use your power in this chamber, in that chamber, in this General Assembly, to lock the public out.
The measure also requires regular productivity reviews for tenured faculty and a review of which degrees are no longer being awarded. And faculty governance boards are limited to an advisory capacity only. None of those things came up at any time during session.
Well, I think the key is we have a huge investment in IU, wonderful university, and the state has an interest in being sure that that is operated in the best way. And by the way, the governor will be the one that has to answer to the people.
Did the governor ask for the language, the change to the Board of Trustees?
No, it was a collaborative effort. There's some discussions around it, and just felt like it was an appropriate change to make, to have the governor, the state's largest university, have a appointment from the governor.
Republicans say only a fraction of IU alums were voting for the trustees in the first place, but Democrats call it a blatant power grab.
It really does create this chilling effect on academic freedom, on democracy, on freedom of speech. And that's what I am hearing from constituents across the state.
So the budget bill now heads to the governor's desk. We expect we will hear from Governor Braun later on Friday. At the State House, I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
The 2-year budget bill also contains a 5% cut in the operating budgets of all state colleges and universities. K-12 schools would get a 2% funding boost in both budget years. Tobacco taxes increased by $2 per pack of cigarettes to help close a projected $2.4 billion revenue shortfall. State lawmakers have also approved a measure aimed at getting hospital bills under control. Starting in 2029, nonprofit hospital systems that exceed the state average facility charges would lose their nonprofit status for 1 year. Initially, lawmakers had considered financial penalties.
House Bill 1004 takes another significant step in our pursuit to lower health care costs in Indiana.
Loss of nonprofit status versus a penalty will impact what benefits are provided to the community to keep Hoosiers healthier and prevent the unnecessary use of hospital services. Many community-based organizations depend on this funding support to make our communities thrive.
The new rules will apply to the state's largest hospital systems, IU, Ascension, Parkview, Franciscan, and Community. In a very slim margin, the state Senate passed a bill that would allow school board candidates to list their political party affiliation on the ballot. 14 Republicans crossed party lines to vote against the bill, but the Senate still approved it by a 26-24 vote. The bill's Republican author says that the change will help voters know what candidates believe, but Democrats argue it increases partisanship.
When you look at some of those issues school boards vote on, there is definitely an aspect of ideology and politics there.
Why else would we turn school board elections into party primaries? To push out the independent thinker, to challenge or to silence the community member who doesn't check the right partisan box.
If the governor signs the bill, candidates would also have the option to not have an affiliation listed next to their name on the ballot. Lawmakers have also approved new rules for some people on Medicaid. They include work requirements to be on the Healthy Indiana plan, an enrollment cap, and, as I-Team 8's Tim Spears shows us, a ban on Medicaid advertising.
Once SB 2 is signed, all types of Medicaid providers, including counselors, therapists, nonprofits, won't be able to advertise services they provide under Medicaid.
So usually when I am in the State House, I'm always talking about unintended consequences.
Kim Dotson is CEO of ARC of Indiana, which connects services to people facing intellectual or developmental disabilities.
Families will still be able to find them. It's just going to be a lot harder.
She's concerned a small provision in the state's Medicaid overhaul could have big impacts on clients she serves.
So many families who have a loved one with a disability are really overwhelmed, and they're looking for all the help that they can get.
Under SB 2, state agencies and anyone contracted under Medicaid may not advertise or otherwise market the Medicaid program. Democratic State Representative Robin Shackelford told News 8 in a statement it blocks people from publicly encouraging Hoosiers to sign up for a program that can literally save lives.
We live in an information age, and you would think that information about services like we provide and others and that we advocate for would be at your fingertips at all times. It really isn't.
Jason McManus is the CEO of Wabash Center, which supports people with disabilities. He says not only are providers worried about struggling to reach clients, but also worries some of the most underserved communities are losing access to information.
We go to great lengths to try and educate our community about what's available to them.
Once Governor Mike Braun signs SB 2 into law, his Secretary of the Family and Social Services Administration, Mitch Robe, will have the power to decide which Medicaid providers can advertise and how.
We need to make sure that legislators truly understand the vulnerability of Medicaid for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, because when they make some of these sweeping changes, sometimes we get swept into it.
The FSSA already banned certain providers from advertising on TV and radio, but it did not respond to my questions about how broadly restrictions under SB 2 will be enforced. Kim Dotson with the ARC of Indiana hopes to get clarity when she meets with Secretary Robe on Monday.
The Marion County Juvenile Court could lose 6 magistrates if Governor Braun signs a bill that lawmakers passed. Final version of the bill also gets rid of court seats in Blackford, Jennings, and Lawrence counties, but it does add 2 judicial seats in Hamilton County. Supporters say the move will save the state money, while critics say it will slow the judicial process and add to already heavy caseloads. One person has died in a collision with one of the state's most recognizable vehicles. The Boilermaker Special is the train-shaped truck that serves as a rolling mascot for Purdue University. Crash happened yesterday afternoon on US 52 at Wyandotte Road, southeast of Lafayette. Investigators say the Boilermaker Special crossed the median and hit a car head-on, killing the person driving the car. Sheriff's office says 2 people on the special got treatment at a hospital and are now released. 4 students and 2 staffers from Roncalli High School are in Italy right now, witnessing history, and will be at Pope Francis's funeral on Saturday. They are on a long-planned trip to see the canonization ceremony for the church's first ever millennial saint. That changed when they arrived on the day of the Pope's passing.
It's a very, very historic moment, and for it to happen this week when we plan to go is just crazy to think about. I think it's really special.
The group plans to attend the funeral mass tomorrow morning. A new study finds measles could become an endemic in the United States if vaccination rates do not improve. Endemic means common in the community, a dramatic change for a disease once considered eliminated in America. Research predicts that over the next 25 years, there could be 9,000 new measles cases. Vaccination rates have been down across the country since the COVID-19 pandemic. CDC recommends children get the first dose of the measles vaccine between 12 months and 15 months old, a second dose between 4 and 6 years old as well. There are 30 days until the Indy 500, but this weekend in Bloomington, there's a different kind of race. IU hosts the Little 500. News 8's Colin Bailey is in Bloomington this morning at Bill Armstrong Stadium.
Yeah, 4 o'clock this afternoon, the women's race will kick things off. And we were back outside. You can see that actually they were just going around the track, making sure it's nice and smooth. But Peter, just kind of talk about this. There's a lot that goes into the Little 500. How do the racers train for this? What is that prep like? They're doing a lot of bike riding.
Yeah, absolutely, Colin. They are super dedicated. Some of these racers, they train year-round. Some do it for a few months, but either way, they're all working really hard. They do road rides all the time. They do centuries all the time. And we have open track as well, where they do workouts on the track, interval training, long rides, tempo rides. You name it, they do it. And additionally, for all of our first-year riders, we have a curriculum called Rookie Week, where they spend a couple weeks at the track. They have to pass a skills check, and they also have to get a certain amount of hours in. Then you have to get a certain amount of hours in at open track as well in order to be ready for a race day.
So today is race day. The women's will race today. What does their race look like? And the men's are tomorrow. What does that race look like?
Yeah, absolutely. The women's race today is going to be 100 laps, 25 miles, and the men's race tomorrow is going to be 200 laps or 50 miles. And it's going to be a lot of commotion, a lot of fast riding, and it's going to be an exciting day both today and tomorrow.
Talk about the side of giving back to the university and how this event helps that.
Yeah, absolutely. The whole purpose of the event is to raise money for mental health services on campus, mental health initiatives, and additionally, the Student Foundation, we fully support our campaign partner, Students Helping Students, and that's the whole point of the race. This is why we do it, and we couldn't do it for a better cause.
You were a student here, now you work here. What's your favorite part of Little 500 weekend?
I mean, the races themselves are just so exciting, super fun. It's super fun to see everyone's friends and family come out and support them for this event, and just the excitement in all the riders' eyes, and of course the competitive edge. We love to see the competitive spirit between the riders.
Today, 4 o'clock, women's race tomorrow. The men's race will kick off. A lot of bike riding going to go on out here. Tough to get ready for this, but for now here on the IU campus, I'm Colin Bailey for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Back to four wheels now. 2 top names are okay, but their cars are banged up after tangling with turn 1 at the Speedway. Crossover star Kyle Larson hit first early in day 2 on this week's open test. Then Takuma Sato did nearly the same thing later in the morning session. The day had 2 sessions. The early hours saw cars running high boost, and later hours were race trim. Scott McLaughlin was fastest in the hot session with the lap at 232.5 miles an hour. Alex Palou was then quickest in the race setup at 223, almost 224 miles an hour. The Colts have 2 picks tonight in the NFL draft as the second and third rounds play out. In night 1, the team chose a Big Ten tight end. Penn State's Tyler Warren is the 14th overall pick. Warren caught 104 passes in his senior season and picked up some Heisman Trophy votes in helping the Nittany Lions reach the college football playoff semifinal last season. Warren says he knew he would fit in with the Colts from the start.
Even from the combine, it was a team that I really, enjoyed the staff and my meeting with them, and enjoyed being there for my 30 visit. But yeah, I'm just really excited, and it's a great place, to go play football, and I'm excited to work with that program and that organization.
The last time the Colts took a tight end in the first round was in 2003 when they grabbed future Ring of Honor member Dallas Clark. Team has the draft's 45th and 80th selections tonight. Pacers hope to take a commanding lead tonight in their first-round playoff series against the Bucks. Pacers are up 2-0 heading into Game 3 tonight in Milwaukee. Head coach Rick Carlisle says the team is just trying to stay focused.
We need to maintain the sharpest edge that we can have. And as you progress through a playoff series, you just got to work at keeping it very sharply focused, regardless of the situation, whether you're up or down. And that's the biggest thing.
News 8's Andrew Chernoff will be live from Milwaukee and Wish TV at 5 and 6 tonight. Tip-off for that game is at 8 o'clock. This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook for updates.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.